example of perfect competitive market, a perfectly competitive market. Here's an example. Rajan is a farmer who cultivates maize. The market price of the maize is rupees 200 per bag. Rajan wants to raise the price at which he sells the maize. However, when he increases his price over rupees 200, buyers stop buying from him and switch to one of the numerous other sellers in the market. This is very clear from this example that Rajan is a farmer, and now they in a perfect market where he is selling his maize in a perfect market, the price is set as rupees 200. So the market price is 200 now. As we have discussed that neither the buyer nor the seller can increase or decrease the price. So anyone can sell any amount at the same price, that is the market price, and anyone can buy any amount at the same price only. Neither buyer nor seller can influence the market price. See, here it is clearly written that however, when he increases price over rupees 200, buyers stop buying from him and switch to one of the numerous other sellers in the market. Unable to sell his maize at a price over above rupees 200, he decides to create an artificial shortage of maize by asking other farmers to reduce supply, which he hopes will result in a rise in the price. But this does not happen as there are such a large number of farmers growing the same crop that even if a few of them get together, they cannot affect the total supply of output in the market in such a way as to influence the market price. Is this example clear means to everyone? Clear, Kostavi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this means clearly we have understood in a perfectly competitive market, we assume perfectly competitive market to be an ideal market structure. Market means a mechanism, just a recap I'm telling again, market means a mechanism where the needs of the buyers and sellers are met. Now, market, I'm telling it as a mechanism because now it is not any physical place where I can sell and you can buy. It can be any mechanism through which our needs are met. It can be virtual, online, anyway, right? Now, perfect competitive market is actually an ideal market structure where we are selling a homogeneous product or we are buying a homogeneous product. The number of consumers, the sellers and the buyers is so large that neither of them can influence the market price, right? See, Rajan also tried to create a shortage of the supply in the market by coalition between among a few farmers. But the sources of supply is so large that it cannot affect the total market. So they have to restrict to the market price whatever is given. That is the firm in the any firm operating in a perfect competitive market is a price taker firm. So they have to take the price whatever is given in the market, right? So let us just go through the features. First is large number of buyers and sellers. Clear? Is this clear? I'm not repeating it once more. Large number of buyers and sellers. Clear? Homogeneous product. Same type of product with no differentiation, right? So there are large number of buyers and sellers. Buyers are also large in numbers, sellers are also large in numbers. Homogeneous product, they are selling same type of product. Free entry and exit of firms means in a perfect competition firm, entry and exit is free. There's no restriction, right? Perfect mobility. It is assumed that the resources can be moved in and out of the market easily. Goods, services are perfectly mobile. Fine. Absence of transportation cost. It is assumed that there is no transportation cost. Perfect knowledge among the buyers and sellers about among the market condition. It is also assumed that the buyers and sellers have the full knowledge about the market condition. So there is no nothing called there is no illusion, no nothing. Everything is transparent. Everyone is aware of whatever is being done in the market, right? Now, supply and demand in perfect competition. We have assumed, we have understood that in a perfect competition market, buyers can buy any amount in the same price. Sellers can sell any amount in the same price, right? Now, definitely it means that the price would be equals to the AR is equals to MR because everything will be same. See, the demand curve for a perfect competition market, see, this is very clearly understood. Demand and supply curve, both would be horizontal. Simply see, this is the price and this is the quantity Q. Price is equals to AR is equals to MR, because I am selling any number of unit in the same price. So I am selling the first unit at 10 rupees and also the 100th unit. If I am selling 100 unit of the same product, that also I am selling in 10 rupees only. So my price would be equal to my average revenue, that is whatever unit I am selling, my prices remains the same. So price is equals to my AR is equals to my MR. So my demand curve and supply curve, that is both is horizontal and parallel to the quantity demanded curve. See, this is the Q and this is my demand curve as well as the supply curve. Everything remains the same. So here my profit maximization condition is P is equals to AR is equals to MR. And second condition is my marginal cost curve. See, this is my marginal cost curve. We know that in the cost curve, marginal cost will come down and then it will move upward. So marginal cost curve will cut the MR curve from the below. This means my marginal, here what does it mean? Marginal cost is less than MR. If it is going, see, after this point, once the MC start increasing, when the marginal cost curve raised above the MR curve, this point we will not operate. This is the profit maximization condition. See, this is the profit maximization condition when MC is less than the MR. Clear? See, to analyze the demand and supply condition of a firm in a perfectly competitive market in the short run, we have to look at the aggregate supply of the industry. See, here what is discussed here, if I am looking at the perfectly competitive market in the short run, then we can look at the, we can just have a look at the aggregate supply of the industry. Aggregate supply means total supply. The aggregate supply curve in the industry help us to calculate the aggregate supply of all the firms during a particular period of time. In the short run, factors of production cannot be changed or altered, and so no new firms can enter the market. See, in the short run, let us say we have aggregate supply of anything, means for an example, any amount. Aggregate supply. Now, whatever be the aggregate supply, let's say 100 tons. 100 tons of cotton is the aggregate supply. 10 firms are there and 10 firms are giving an aggregate supply of maybe 100 units. Fine. Now, just a minute. In the short run, it is being mentioned that whatever be the aggregate supply, right? Whatever is the aggregate supply, now it remains fixed. In the short run, I'm just writing, the short run supply cannot be altered. It remains fixed, right? Since the factors of production is fixed, in the short run, factors of production cannot be changed or altered, and so no new firms can enter the market. But in the long run, all the inputs are variable. But in the long run, see, in the long run, all the factors input are variables and they can alter. So there is free entry and exit in the market. Fine. So prices are fixed and the demand and supply curves intersect each other. See, prices are fixed, though demand and supply curves intersect each other in the long run. In the short run, the demand curve and the supply curve is same because the P is equals to AR is equals to MR. Whereas in the long run, the price remains the fixed and the demand and supply curve will intersect each other. So normally in the long run, we will find the equilibrium to be achieved at the intersection point in demand and supply. Clear? In the long run, the entry of the firm in the market results in the shift of supply curve to the right, indicating a fall in the price. On the other hand, the exit of an existing firm from the industry results in the shift of the supply curve to the left. showing a rise in the price. In the short run, the fixed cost incurred by the firm cannot be varied. Therefore, profit maximization can be achieved when marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue. See, what does it indicate? In the long run, there will be few entries and exit. कुछ एंट्री होगा तो उसके कारण सप्लाई बढ़ेगी. जब एंट्री होगा मार्केट में, जब कुछ ज्यादा एंट्री होगी तो सप्लाई जो है बढ़ेगी. देयर विल बी अ राइज इन सप्लाई. सप्लाई कुछ बढ़ेगी, सप्लाई इंक्रीज एज वेल एज डिक्रीज, कमेगी भी ड्यू टू exit of few firms. So then there will be an equilibrium and according to that a price will be set. But in the short run nothing can be altered, means the firm has to incur its fixed cost and fixed cost cannot be varied. Therefore profit maximization is achieved. See, in the short run profit maximization is achieved when MR is equals to MC, that is marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. The demand curve is also called the firm's average revenue curve. The demand curve is also called the average revenue curve. In the industry, the demand curve slopes downward to the right, indicating that demand increases as price falls. The supply curve slopes upward. This we all know. The price is determined at the point where the demand and supply curve intersect. This is the normal scenario. The price is determined at the equilibrium point. Clear? Is this segment clear to you? If you have any problem, just ask me. I'll be sharing the notes, don't worry. Is this point clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear हुआ ना? कौस्तुभी, तुम्हार clear होयेछे?